I am Pushpa Rajini Jagoda, hosting New York Report covering our tri-state area. New York Report offers a platform for the Sri Lankan Americans to share their views, insights, and to showcase their achievements. On September 14th, Boston Lanka Media launched the program of New York Report with a gathering of Sri Lankan community and business leaders. The Sri Lankan ambassador to the United Nations, Dr. Palitha Kohana, was the guest of honor.
Personally, I'm very proud of all of you because all of you have achieved something in your lives, something more than most other people. You come to a foreign land, made a mark in a place where originally you did not belong. And this makes me very proud of you. So to give you a forum, I think, is something that we had been waiting for a long time. Boston Lanka is a media outlet that I have been familiar with for some time. In fact, I've done a couple of interviews with you. You also had a very aggressive interview, I remember once.
After the event, Dr. Kohana sat with us for a brief interview.
I think what you have done is commendable. For one thing, the Sri Lankans needed a channel of this nature because it would give Sri Lanka a major outlet into one of the most important parts of the world, to give Sri Lankan professionals and businessmen a forum, a stage from where to project themselves. And then on top of it, I hope we'll use this channel to promote Sri Lanka also. Because just now, as we all know, Sri Lanka is a success story. Our economy is booming at over 8% a year. Our unemployment rate is down to about 4.9. Inflation is down to less than 5%. And our exports have increased in a world where a recession is causing endless problems to the major economies. Sri Lanka's economy is doing generally well. In the circumstances, I think you could use this wonderful opportunity that you have created yourself to promote Sri Lanka, not only as a tourist destination. It is doing very well as a tourist destination. Over the last 2 years, the tourist intake went up by 52%. But also as a destination for direct investment. Direct investment is what will make the difference between Sri Lanka doing well and Sri Lanka doing very well. As you know, the government's goal is to improve our per capita income, double our per capita income from the current level within the next 4 years. I personally think it is possible to do even better. And here is a grand opportunity for us to do that.
Thank you, and I'm humbled by your presence and your learned words, and you're just an amazing person. I think as our ambassador here in New York, we are very fortunate to have you here. Sri Lankan ambassador to the United States, His Excellency Jalya Wickramasuriya, shared his best wishes on our launching ceremony held at the New York office.
I am pleased to offer my best wishes to Boston Lanka Media Network on their new venture. Opening a Boston Lanka satellite office in New York is a major step for Boston Lanka, which began only 3 years ago. It is great to have a special edition New York Report to cover the news, views and entertainment of the Sri Lankan community in the tri-state areas of New York, New Jersey and Connecticut.
Mr. Dilan Aryavansa, the Chief Executive Officer of the Sri Lankan Airlines USA, has been an encouraging force towards the New York Report. In spite of his busy travel schedule, Mr. Aryavansa participated enthusiastically in this historic launch.
Wish you all the best. Good luck. And I'm very happy to say today is fantastic. Everything's very nice. They organize it very well. And of course, I know Chitral for a long time. Boston Lanka, wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Dilan, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you at our next tea party.
Thank you, thank you very much.
UN Bureau Chief and Interpress Service Regional Director, Mr. Thalif Dean, with his renowned journalistic background, was an inspiration at the launch. He shared his views about the importance of having a program like the New York Report for the Sri Lankan community in the tri-state area.
It's a groundbreaking event.
Thank you.
For television too, and I hope it will be a big success, and you will keep expanding even in Los Angeles besides New York, you know.
Dr. Kottachi, a valuable member of the Sri Lankan community in New Jersey, shared a moment with us at the launch.
I'm happy to be here. I'm really excited because I have known Chitral environment before, and this Boston Lanka, now our good friend Rajini, getting involved with all her background in education and community activities. It will be, I think, it's going to be a great success. There will be a lot of community support for this, including, I can say, we just had discussion, we have a large number of very prominent doctors here. We can even do some medical segments sometimes, you know, I think.
That's a great thought.
You know, like ask the doctor or something like that, various topics, the obesity, heart disease prevention, things like that. And besides all other aspects that you plan to do. Good luck to you.
That's a wonderful idea. So you really generated a great idea. President of the Sri Lanka Association of New York, Mr. Vidra Jayasuriya, who is tirelessly working towards keeping the community to be socially and culturally involved, shared his thoughts. To say a couple of words about your... First we'll start with cricket and how you feel about...
Yeah, and first of all, I have to thank you to introducing me for Sri Lankan Association, and because of you, I'm the president today. And then, yes, play cricket, I meet so many people, and then we started our shipping business, and from that also, I managed to have a lot of network of great friends, and you know.
He's an amazing young person. That's an asset to our community. So when I was the president of the Sri Lanka Association, I was identifying young people to take over. And the first person that came with the total skills, with all the skills, was Vidura. And I said, Vidura, you're going to take this seat someday. And that's where we have him now. And his lovely wife. Would you like to give us a little introduction of yourself?
Oh, well, my name is Leora, and I have just come to the country, so I'm all new, a fresh face to this place. And well, through Vidura, I've met a lot of Sri Lankans, and it's nice to have like a tightly bonded, network of Sri Lankan people, so that we can, keep the community going. And through the Sri Lankan Association as well, I mean, we meet a lot of people, we do a lot of community things, events together. So that's nice. I'm enjoying that.
And thank you for joining your lovely husband here to the United States and being an asset to him. The young entrepreneurs of the Tribeca Tea Center introduced various flavors of teas to spark the taste buds of the attendees at the launch.
We also have a dessert tea, which is, we call it creme brulee, which also actually has the flavoring of creme brulee in it. It's a black tea. Then we also have a jasmine green tea. Everybody thinks jasmine comes from the flower, and also everybody is more consistent about green tea coming from China. But this tea is from Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka is also now doing a lot of the green teas, and we are also exporting to Japan. Last one is actually it's a green tea. Actually, it's a sencha green tea, which actually comes from Sri Lanka too, and the roasted rice is from Japan.
I am just delighted to hear about Kanlo and how well you're doing as a tea lounge and a tea marketing place. So would you like to say something about your business, a brief introduction about your business, so we can have it on our premiere show?
Yes, Canlo, actually we have most of the teas that we bring is mainly we focus is on the Ceylon black tea, and also we do a lot of the blends, and also we also do different other specialty teas across the world, and we're trying to and also we're looking at the herbal concept which we introduced using from farmers in the US. But now our second stage is, because that was a good learning, now we're moving it into Sri Lanka, where we're going to bring ginger crystallized, and cinnamon crystallized, and also we're going to do like a carapincha crystallized, which we are going to introduce in January.
Oh, phenomenal. it's really intriguing to know that you can do so much with our resources.
Yeah.
And would you like to say something about your tea center?
Of course, it's wonderful. I think every Sri Lankan should come and visit our store because I think it's really.
It is. It is something that we've been going into tea places because we miss that high tea business that we've been used to.
Yes.
And as ladies in Westchester, we've been trying to find places where we can have some tea and enjoy and relax and talk. So I think we can empathize with the tsunami and most of the natural disasters after Sandy struck us. The Sri Lankan community was phenomenal. They came together and helped without any barriers. The Buddhist temple, the Catholic Church, the Hindu Kovils, and most of the Muslim community, they all got together and supported our community at large.
I had some water in my basement. We're in Zone A. I live right by Midland Beach. So we evacuated the house, but we had to come back to pick up something we forgot. And when we came back, the house was flooded. There was water in the basement. Thank God it wasn't a lot, but we caught it early, so we were able to put sandbags and block the water coming in through the front door. We actually had water coming in from the bathroom, like the tub. There was not much damage done to my house compared to everyone else around me.
This is some of the debris that was left washed offshore. This whole area was filled with water.
The damage is really bad. Some of the places, a couple of days after the hurricane, we weren't able to leave the house till a couple of days because the water was still there. There were trees fallen. Some of the houses moved from their foundations. Some of the places had water filled and there were cars floating in the water. And there was a diner on Father Capodanno. Only the sign is there now. The building is nowhere to be seen. Just the foundation is left.
This water is very calm today, but the 60 miles per hour devastation, the wind path, just you can see the destruction. There were huge trees that were taken down within an hour. There were gigantic trees in New York that we preserved.
I actually found out recently that there is a Sri Lankan family. Their house had, I think, about 14 to 16 feet of water. They had floor to ceiling in their basement and then about 1.5 inches of feet of water in their first floor. They're still not in their home. They live with their friends. And I know the Sri Lankan community has helped them out a lot, whether it's cleaning or whatever it is that they needed. I talked to one of them and they said it was very scary. The surge started gushing in and within no time there was water on the first floor and the basement was filled.
I'm also happy to announce that the Sri Lankan mission to the United Nations has been extremely involved and supportive towards our victims who've suffered tremendously in the Staten Island areas.
Ambassador of Sri Lanka, your ambassador, called me about 2.5 hours ago. He suggested that we convert this celebration into a moment of support for our brothers and sisters who lost their loved ones, their children.
Sri Lankan Embassy in Washington, D.C. dedicated its annual Christmas Day celebration to a prayer service in honoring the memory of the victims of the tragic shooting incident at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. The mass shooting incident resulted in the deaths of 20 elementary school children and 6 adults. We know the pain, especially when it comes to children, said Ambassador Jalia Wickramasuriya, adding that we had experienced many tragedies, losses of life of innocent children due to terrorism for about 30 years. Reverend Father Percival De Silva, parish priest of the Blessed Sacrament Church in Chevy Chase, delivered the sermon and offered prayers.
Help us to take responsibility for our actions. Help us particularly to look after our children. These little angels, little kids are gunned down. They had so much of a life ahead of them. They could be sportspersons. They could be athletes. They could be rocket scientists. They could be ambassadors. They could be presidents. They could be married and could have children. And none of that now is possible. Their lives have been taken away from them because we adults at times have been senseless. Help us to turn our lives around.
Hope you enjoyed our New York report. We will see you soon with another exciting program from New York.